I guess if you're American, you can't travel anywhere because we are a contagion to the world.
Yeah, we
So that's what's,
are the virus.
yeah, we are the virus pretty much. Um, but in the meantime, while other countries, I mean, it's weird because like you hear one story that, oh, we're opening travel up, we're opening this up, but then at the same time, the World Health Organization is saying that horrible second wave is coming. We should all be like, hunkering down, but yet it doesn't. I don't know. I just get all these mixed messages making me go nuts. So, but what we have here pretty much is Hong Kong and Singapore will form a travel bubble soon. So these travel bubbles have actually been happening for like a few months now. Just because we're in America and nothing good is happening here, we don't hear about this news. But travel bubbles pretty much between countries have made an agreement. Their numbers are low enough that they can forgo quarantine as long as they get checked for the coronavirus when they go in and out of the jet. And once they go in and out of the airport and they get cleared, they get tested negative, they can travel freely. So we could have been here, but we're not.
But my freedoms.
Yeah.
We were so worried about our freedoms that we have even less freedoms. We can't even travel anywhere. Nobody in the world wants to take us.
So this is what the concept of bilateral corridor that was commonly called the air travel bubble must be one that ensures safety, public health on one hand, and also facilitating travel as much as possible. So we can't ensure safety and we don't give a shit about public health. So that's why we don't have travel bubbles here.
You know, it's really funny too when you look at how the U.S. airline industry is bailing.
It's falling apart.
They're begging for bailouts, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're cutting people. We have to cut our workforce. We're cutting hours. We've got furloughs. And then you look and it's like, well, if we didn't hear so much about my freedom, America, then, we'd probably be in the air and we wouldn't have to
give
the airlines taxpayer money.
Exactly.
People could just fucking cooperate.
And the thing is, it's not this. When I say travel, I'm not just saying to go to hang out and do nothing. Like travel actually hinders people's business. People have to travel to make money. And like right now,
I want to go to just do nothing though.
Yeah, me too. But I'm just saying that this is messing up people's pockets. This is like, so I'm not just talking about going on vacation and hanging out. This is affecting a lot of things that we can't have these travel bubbles. So, but when it comes to their policies, this briefly lined up. Like it requires travelers to test negative. And in Hong Kong, they require travelers to take another test. Travelers will not have to serve a quarantine. So if you test negative, you can go hang out. But then they also suspend and adjust dedicated flights depending on if the numbers go up. So, but they're low enough that they're able to do this kind of stuff. So, I mean, China just had their holiday week. And pretty much it was booming. Business is booming in China again. This is odd. So I'm just making Americans jealous.
Why is it odd? They have a culture that prioritizes the many over the individual, and now they're able to do things. We prioritize the individual, the rights of individuals, and so we stay without our rights for longer. How ironic is it?
Exactly. So everyone's complaining about 1984, but our actions are causing that dystopian so if Phil can play this clip, another clip to make you jealous. I'm
chilling in my house, so
from serene surroundings to sumptuous bedrooms, quarantine has never looked so good. It's all part of Thailand's plan to allow tourists back into the country. Visitors have been barred for 6 months due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now they're allowed back in, but will have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And the well-heeled can do that at specially adapted hotels, such as this one in Phuket.
Normally,
that feels like a prison.
Including 3 meals a day, private car transfer from Phuket International Airport. A nurse is on call 24/7, and you will have the temperature check-up twice a day. Also, COVID test will be take place on the day 5 and day 10.
It all looks rather idyllic, but the measures...
So their quarantine has a plan, they have a travel plan for their quarantine hours.
And
that's supposed to be luxury? That's a plastic-ass chair.
Costs $5,300 per person, or $18,700 for a family of 4. But at least the new measures have given the staff something to do.
We choose it to be
That's
the
the way to
foreign
say it.
retail because
Yeah, like
we
they're
want to
working for free
support
or
and
something.
help the
Nah, they
local
probably find a
people
way to get them
who
paid.
suffering badly from COVID-19, and also for the unemployed staff, that they can return to work and they can make money to survive for themselves and family.
According to government figures, before the pandemic, tourism accounted for 93% of Phuket's income, with as many as 40 million visitors every year. Now
God
nearly
damn.
all the hotels and most businesses are shut. After quarantine, tourists are allowed to travel freely across the country for up to 9 months. But first, they must serve time in what is effectively a gilded cage.
Wow, so you can
Dirty World.
God damn.
wow, so you have enough money, you can go to Thailand, get like
And
the
they get
most
locked up. Won't let me
luxury
out.
get into a luxury kind of prison household held house arrest for two weeks, and then you can travel Thailand for 9 months.
Do
So
you think they'll give you a discount if they just play Akon like the entire
well,
time you're there on repeat?
yeah, they just torture you at this point. That's some psychological.
But it's for a discount, man.
So there you go. Like that's one place that if you were able to travel around 2 weeks, and then you can do what you want. And then people don't realize there was actually a giant holiday in China called the Golden Week, which was like kind of like a litmus test of what would happen when they ease the lockdown. And right now, it seems all right. We're gonna find out in 2 weeks. But if Phil can play this clip, pretty much shows you
So China has
a whole nother world right now.
For over 6 weeks, and what it's saying is that chance of people bumping into symptom-free infected people is very low during this holiday. But of course, we know that the virus has not disappeared. There's pretty much no protections or restrictions in place anymore, which is very much something that reflects China's confidence at the moment in how it's basically eradicated the virus domestically. So everything that we see that China did before and also that's being done in other places, for example, quarantine, a virus test requirement, all of that was taken away. And we've seen resurgences always follow periods of holiday and vacation. So there is definitely a risk, but the fact that China is allowing this to happen with so few restrictions shows that it's very confident that the risk can be managed. So what we're seeing is not only is domestic travel doing really well, almost as well as last year, and in some places
Almost as well as last year.
which have really benefited from the fact that Chinese people cannot travel overseas anymore. But this Golden Week, we saw hotel prices in Tibet double. Places like Xinjiang were also seeing a big boom. What we saw is that flight bookings were up 11% from the holiday period last year, and hotel
Get the
prices
fuck
were
out
up
of here.
20% in some places. For the first 4 days of the Golden Week, what we're seeing is that the numbers are slightly down from the year before. So in terms of train travel, it's about 85% from the year before. In terms of actual number of tourists, it was about 80% of the year before.
Yeah, because the other 20%, the Americans were missing
the
because
world
nobody
right
wants
now
them.
pretty much has no global tourism industry, and I think the global travel industry is projected to lose 1.2 trillion this year.
God
There's still a
damn.
lot of restrictions in place to minimize the spread of the virus from one area of the country to another. And in China, as I said, the stark contrast is really that they have removed all restrictions, and domestic travel right now is pretty much a free-for-all.
So there you go. It's like I said, it's this weird kind of it's like two things. You hear, oh, travel, everyone can travel, everyone can hang out, everyone can do whatever they want now. And then you have this other side of the story, the second wave is coming, winter is coming. Jon Snow is riding in with a horse, yelling at us, telling us to get in. You know, like this is, but at the same time,
China,
it's so weird.
I mean, China, again, like I mean, like I get the point, but at the same time, we have to be really careful because, you know, we could be looking at the second wave starting in China and then a whole bunch of deaths coming out of China after this. I mean, it looks all rosy today.
Yeah.
But, you know, they are the crash test dummies of the second wave, right? Like she said, like Corona's not done.
Yeah.
It's not done. It ain't over. So with all of those people piled up on top of each other, you know, to near COVID-19 rates.
Yeah, like it's
We're gonna
2019
see.
again. Yeah.
Right, so it looks great. It looks great when we look at the video clip, and it's like, okay, see me 14 to 28 days from now, and see if it's not 28 weeks later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I want to play this next clip, because it's like a weird contradiction of narratives that we're having. Like, this clip just talks about kind of how like the second wave. I guess the second wave is coming. I mean, we should be aware of it. If Phil can play it real quick.
Countries are hitting the panic button. They're racing to reimpose restrictions to try and hold back the second wave. Some have opted for a second lockdown, like Israel, Spain, the Netherlands, Northern Ireland. One thing is for sure. The season of hardships is not behind us. Millions of people across the world are bracing for curfews and closures.
Why does that look like a...
Here's a report.
Why does it look like a product?
The second
Fresh
wave
lockdowns.
of Wuhan
You can buy them
virus
now.
infections.
Fresh
Not
lockdown.
a theory anymore.
Makes me
You're
feel
well
so
and truly
fresh.
in the middle of it. Infection rates are soaring in Europe.
Lockdowns are in
American
season.
states
Get
are
them
approaching
fresh.
levels last seen during the summer peak. There is talk of a second lockdown. Nowhere is the resurgence more evident than in Europe. Millions of Europeans are buckling down for tougher curbs. Ireland is going into a 6-week lockdown. Unlike the first time, schools will remain open.
Schools.
Retail shops shut and restaurants limited to takeaways. People have been asked not to travel beyond a 5-kilometer radius.
Wow.
Across the Irish Sea, Britain has unveiled a 3-tier system.
His hair is all over
In
the
medium
place.
risk areas,
What the
most
fuck is that?
businesses are permitted to operate except nightclubs. In high-risk areas, people have been asked to stay at home. Not use public
Oh wow, they're
transport,
announcing night
not
curfews
meet
again.
people
Wow.
outside their households.
Wow. Okay.
In very high-risk areas, serving alcohol is banned. So are mass gatherings. Most of these new curbs are aimed at slowing down social life. When Europe exited its first lockdown, there was a sudden burst of social activities. Youngsters hit the pubs. The streets were packed again. And business was picking up. But the governments failed to account for the second wave. This time around, leaders have unveiled a targeted strategy. Night curfews to keep people off the streets.
Wow.
And special curbs on places serving alcohol.
Alcohol consumption is
France
bad
and
for health. It
Belgium
keeps
have
letting me
adopted
know
this
that. It's like
Needless
5
to
seconds
say,
of the.
top
There it goes
mobile
again.
Owners are not impressed.
Knives are also
Fearing
bad for your health
massive
too, depending on
losses
how you use
and
it.
layoffs.
We work less and less. With these rules, it's a mess. Unfortunately, our income has decreased a lot. I have many colleagues on layoffs, and some others will be for sure. It's a mess. The most ridiculous thing is that you can't come to the pub, but buses and the subways are full. Nothing happens in the gym, but in the pub, you get coronavirus.
What is happening in Europe is a warning for the United States. President
We're not going to
Macron
listen.
Pause the
Don't
video
worry.
right quick.
steam ahead
Yeah, we're not going to listen to
with
any
no
warning from any like
Yeah,
European.
so I gotta get
Bougie
this
person.
off.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn this segment into what really grinds my gears. And I hate to be that fitness guy,
Yeah.
but I really hate it when proponents of people drinking blood poison, alcoholic beverages, are trying to compare that activity to another activity that makes you healthy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear, oh, but what's going on at the gym? There are people taking care of their health at the gym.
Yeah.
You are fucking up your immune system. So
Yeah, but
that
this
if
feels
you
like-
get the Rona,
Well,
you
this
get
feels like-
sick.
But this feels like everyone is blaming the wrong thing. Like I feel like gym people are saying you got the bars open. You going to the bars, and the bar people is like you got the gyms open, nasty ass gyms open. Everyone's blaming each other, but not blaming the government not giving us stimulus money. So
I mean, they're probably not worried about that as much in Europe.
Oh yeah.
We're worried about that here.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm really getting sick and tired of people saying, "Well, we're trying to drink poison over here." You let those people do good things for their immune system in the gym. If you can let them do healthy stuff, then you should let us do unhealthy stuff.
Yeah. But then it's like, if you let people work out in the gym, then the kids can go into schools and stay in there for 8 hours. So everyone's
it's like that doesn't make any sense. There's nothing about that makes sense.
So everyone's using each other like it's like it's almost like candlelistic.
LT cancel makes a good point. When you're at the bar, you're participating in an activity where you have to take off your mask.
Yeah, I mean they open.
You don't have to take off your mask at the gym. I had a client that I worked with today virtually through FaceTime.
Yeah,
who was at a facility.
Yeah,
and he kept his mask on the entire time. We went through kettlebell swings and all types of deadlifts and push-ups and all kinds of shit today.
Yeah,
and he never once took off his mask.
Yeah, they actually have I want to play a bonus thing, but I'm going to close out. Global Earth News, so you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're out here. Catch the latest Global Earth News. But
yeah, more of me ranting.